Welcome to Voices TV. I'm J-Man Ericon.
And I'm Grace Nelson.
Today we have some stories we'd like to share with you relating to LC.
Are you in this segment? Let's find out.
I will be at Vinylthon this week.
Really? What is it?
Well, let me tell you. Every year the WLMC hosts a 24-hour marathon of shows which is known as Vinylthon.
Did you support our DJs? Let us know below.
From April 24th to April 25th, a film event held for and by the students.
Yes, it's called Neurovisions, and it has been in the works all year. It is the second annual film festival. Claire with more info.
Well, when my work with radio, a lot of that is involving working with other people as a team to put on major events. Vinylthon, which is coming up this upcoming weekend, April 18th and 19th, which is 48 hours of vinyl, and World College Radio Day, which we do in the fall. Those all require coordination from multiple different people, advertising and marketing and schedules, and those all involve all those various different factors. I think Neurovisions is no different, except Neurovisions happens annually. There's only one Neurovisions per year, and it involves many more different people, and different stakes are involved when you're working with films compared to just working with sound and managing personnel. But a lot of it is that I've worked with these kinds of different things before, and I can adapt those new skills. So I will admit, with Neurovisions, I'm learning a lot of new things that I wouldn't have otherwise already learned. So while I do pull from that experience a lot, I'm learning a lot of new stuff, and this experience I get here is a lot of experience that is germane to this process and setting up this festival and bringing people in, bringing films in. It's a whole new thing, and my previous leadership experience is mostly those soft skills that come into play. Is that, can you work with people? Can you work with really any kind of logistical software system? Can you work with any of those things? And I think that's the biggest thing here that comes into play.
So last year, I believe in the guided leadership practicum class, Gavin Wieland was him and some other people really had this idea. I'm not sure if it was Gavin's capstone project, but there was a capstone presentation where they talked about pitching this idea of a Neurovisions Film Fest. And Tom Oxholm, who is in the Office of Institutional Advancement here, heard that, thought it was an excellent idea. He got together, after sort of like asking around, just sort of like soliciting sort of feedback. He engaged Jury Kepish and myself about starting this film festival and actually pairing up with Institutional Advancement for their gala fundraiser last year. So last year, that's really the premier year that we did it, and it was a partnership between Institutional Advancement and what we have going on over here. What's different a little bit this year is the first year that we have the Media Arts Production major, and so that's a major that I helped create along with Jury and Eric Maddie and Meg Baronian, and it's a real collaborative and interdisciplinary initiative. And I really think about the film festival as being like, the mothership, or like the flagship, I guess is the word, not mothership, the real flagship of the MAP program. And yeah, really kind of like the third branch in like the sort of, if you were to think about like the three branches of government, the three branches of like media would be radio, TV, and film.
If you want to see films by neurodivergent people, or films that highlight the neurodivergent experience, make sure to pop on by.
It's a great way to show how impactful art can be in our lives, especially for all of our cinephiles on campus.
Do you know your classes for this upcoming semester?
Just this past week, registration occurred.
Here's Josh Sampaio and Alice Quall with students.
Well, I signed up for a poetry class, and I'm excited for that. And also one about, it's called self-publishing, but I assume I'll be able to draw in that.
I'd have to say the classes I'm excited for are chemistry 2 and biology.
I'm really excited for my learning disability seminar with Rebecca Maddie.
I get to do a lot more psych classes next year, and that's what I'm really excited for.
Radio training, along with pretty much a couple history lessons, especially with films, and combine history with films.
I'm going to be doing a lot of history classes because they're offering that new history bachelor's.
Maybe something to go with animation, because I'm in an animation class right now.
maybe something to do with like education, because I want to become a teacher.
Next semester I'll be taking some 3000 level classes. I'm excited for that.
There's 2 assistantships I'm looking at right now, the Social Pragmatic Center for Neurodiversity one and the Voices Student Media position. So you're probably going to see me around next year.
I am graduating next semester, so I'm hoping to create ways to help those who are going to be following in my footsteps, make it a little easier.
I actually applied to a job at the Greenwich YMCA in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's actually very close to home.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh and Alice.
Have you ever wanted to learn self-defense?
On April 11th, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., there was a shuttle that took students to classes on self-defense.
Classes cost $20, but they were able to learn valuable skills on protecting oneself.
If you want to join the next one, reach out to Molly Lawson at mollylawson@landmark.edu.
On April 4th, 3 of our very own sharks reviewed the Landmark, no pun intended, film called Paprika.
That's right. These movie segments from now on will be called Fantastic Films.
One thing that's been on my mind a lot since we saw the movie was the idea of the contrast between dream and reality, where the director, the one in the wheelchair, he loved it because he was able to escape and live in a world where he was not constrained by his lack of legs. But some other people needed that sense of reality, and it's been kind of grappling in my mind.
We're seeing those two sort of in conflict, but we don't see Chiba in the same way have that same relationship with the villain. And so she's kind of conflicted between supporting the person that she cares about in the doctor and challenging his.
All of them knew her more as Paprika than they did as herself. Like, the first thing that cop said when he saw Chiba for the first time in real life, quote unquote, was, "Are you Paprika?" or something along those lines. And it shows that, like, he doesn't take any time to absorb her as a person. He just sees the girl from the dreams, or, you know, who's been helping him. And so it shows how I think that part of the reason she has that conflict with herself is because Paprika has kind of become the more desirable part of herself.
These will be shown on Landmark's very own Voices YouTube channel. On March 31st, in the Cafe Court, the Student Government Association hosted a town hall.
That's right. It was regarding infrastructure on campus, with the main focus on gathering student input on future projects.
During the event, there was a speech by SGA Communications Officer Caroline Bolton about what SGA is, what the town hall is, and more.
There was also a speech by our very own Vice President of Student Affairs, Michael Luciani, regarding the work that occurred to coordinate the town hall as successful as it was.
Here is some first-hand footage from the event.
With the Upper Campus Commons construction over the past few semesters, the Landmark community has been thinking about what else could be added or updated around the campus. Recently, students, faculty, and administration gathered to discuss those future projects. The event was put on by the Student Government Association, also known as the SGA. Here's more about them from the SGA's treasurer, Caroline Bolton.
So, who are we? What is SGA? I'm assuming that it's likely that several of you already know what SGA is, but in case you don't, SGA stands for Student Government Association, and our role is to be representatives for the student body, the student community here at Landmark, as well as to be representative voices. So we work closely alongside administration as well as other higher-ups here at Landmark to make sure that we are advocating and doing everything we can to make Landmark the best it can be for the students here.
This event successfully collected questions and ideas from the student body, all about infrastructure. Here's more about some of those ideas from Vice President of Student Affairs, Michael Luciani.
So the infrastructure is what we want to know about and what SGA wants to hear about from you to be your voice. So things like accessibility on campus, and this just isn't about elevators and it isn't about ramps, it's about every aspect of your life. The dining hall, what we serve in the dining hall, every classroom, how is the flow around campus? What are your thoughts on accessibility in those areas? How can the college not only meet the expectations, but exceed expectations and standards so we continue to be the best college for students? So thank you all for being here, and to SGA, I want to thank all of you for creating and crafting this town hall. Not only the topic tonight, but the way that you get student feedback. It's very productive, very informative to us, and it really follows our Rush principles as well. So thank you all for your work in doing that. So, all right.
To share more of your ideas with the student government, attend their general meetings every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. in Dining Hall Conference Room B. Hope to see you there.
If you have any proposals that you think the SGA can do for you or your peers, you can reach out to them at sga@landmark.edu.
Speaking of the town hall, on April 12th, the nominees for the executive SGA officer positions were formalized.
Yes. Make sure to look out for your possible representatives, who you'll be seeing campaigning until April 26th.
The elections for the e-board is from April 27th to 29th, where you, yes you, can vote on who will represent you for the upcoming semester.
You can vote on the candidates when SGA advisor Scott Bothover sends an email which has an attached Google form with the candidates that are in place.
More information about the candidates will be coming soon at a later date.
More for you when we come back.
Welcome to Voice TV. I'm your sports anchor Josh Sampaio, and let's get you caught up on this week's sports updates. The Sharks volleyball team will be hosting intramurals every Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. They also will have an upcoming matchup against Bennington College. We had the opportunity to hear from Molly Lawson about her thoughts on this year's squad.
So based on some of the folks that have come in the past, we do have all different levels. One person that I've really seen progress over the last couple of years that they've been here, and they're actually graduating, is Chris Archuleta. So I really anticipate him being a star.
How do you plan to navigate the challenges of operating with a smaller team this year?
That is a constant challenge because most of the programs that I run are drop-in, like volleyball. So I never know who's going to show up. Sometimes there are students who strum up some excitement and bring more, which is always great. But when we have a small, we've improvised. We decrease the size of the courts. We might play something a little bit different. We might just kind of switch it up a little bit, and I think it's still equally as fun.
That was Molly Lawson, Assistant Director of Recreation and Outdoor Programs. You can find her at the John Wood Click Center Gymnasium throughout this week, along with rock climbing hours every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Now, a quick sports soccer update. The Soccer Sharks team wrapped up a challenging indoor season, finishing without a win. In their final matchup against Unatletico FC, the Sharks came up with a short in a 5-4 loss. However, after a key goalkeeper adjustment, the team sparked momentum, scoring 3 goals in just 10 minutes. Despite a short roster, the Sharks showed resilience and controlled much of the match with standout performances from Darren Rodriguez, Lucas Flake, Lucas Van Bar, and Josh Sampaio. Now, turning the page to the spring season, the Sharks opened strong with a 3-1 victory over the Bennington Duck Rabbits. Jonathan Bruckhartz led the way with a dominant performance, scoring twice, including a spectacular top right free kick goal. He also capitalized on a breakaway opportunity off a pass from Levi Hill. Lucas Flake added to the scoreline, finishing a counterattack with a precise bottom left strike off an assist from Liam Mulholland. We also had the chance to hear from players Jonathan Bruckhartz and Lucas Flake following the match. What is your name and position?
Lucas Flake, and I play striker.
For the previous game against Bennington College, what are your thoughts on the next game and improving your mistakes to get better?
Strange. I think starting the season off, especially last semester when I first joined the team, on the bench, and then sort of slowly getting more minutes as the season went on whether it's due to me needing to fulfill certain roles, or obviously injury played a bit of a factor to me getting more playing time. Some players got hurt, but I've really enjoyed it. I thought I've worked quite hard, and I'm very grateful for the team and our coach for giving me that opportunity. And I feel like I've done well, thrived in my role with more increased minutes. So definitely, it's a good feeling when you put all the effort in, and then by the time we get to the end of the season, I'm starting, I have a more important role, I'm contributing to winning. There's almost nothing more satisfying in sports than seeing your effort contribute to success and winning.
What's your name and position?
My name is Jonathan Breckarts, and I play up front or in the midfield.
Could you elaborate on your thought process when scoring that free kick goal?
Yeah, man. I scored a free kick goal before, I think against Bennington as well, but it was at a home game. But I don't know, you just see it. It's in a very nice area, a place that you like to practice from, and like you just feel some confidence. I felt a lot of confidence right there. And then prior to that, their spectators had been making some comments, nothing terrible, but just some comments. And so, you had to show off a little bit. Just felt confident being there too, so yeah, a lot of confidence.
How do you feel about being named man of the match for your first game of the spring season this year?
Yeah, that's awesome. I really struggled playing indoor, I think, this season. I just don't like indoor. It's a different game, honestly. So being outside, it's very comfortable. And I just really like coming back, so it's nice to go outside, felt good. And so I didn't really have too many expectations going into the game. But to come out with 2 goals is nice, yeah. So I feel good.
A big shout out to both Breckarts and Flake for their leadership and impact in that game. The Sharks are set for a home rematch against the Duck Rabbits on April 26, with the time still to be determined. For more information, you can contact Josh Ascani at landmark.edu. Now, over to esports action. The Marvel Rivals esports team delivered a strong showing in the playoffs. Auden Finstad, Emi Joji, and Glenn McCormick led the effort as the team finished 4th in NECC Division 6. However, they fell to Murray State Gold in a 3-1 match. The absence of Mac Ferguson proved to be a key factor impacting the team's depth in overall performance. The team has also qualified for the NECC Division 6 National Tournament, with their next matchup scheduled for April 21st. Time to be determined. That's all for this week's sports update on Voice TV. I'm your sports anchor, Josh Sampaio. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in for more updates.
Have you been seeing signs on campus? We'd like to huddle your attention to some great news regarding 2 of them.
That's right. For a while, there was a missing calico cat and orange and brown pot, with the artist posting signage in order to find it. Have you seen them around?
The calico cat has been found and returned.
Great job, Sharks.
The orange-brown pot, though, is still to be found.
The orange and brown pot was trinkets. Please ensure that it is returned to its proper area.
In other news, the Strive Center in STEM 004 has been missing a brain model and a white noise machine.
If you know something, say something. If you have any information, reach out to Gabrielle Ewall at gabrielleewall@landmark.edu.
We may have missed this earlier, but our very own Orion interviewed our very own Professor Stross-Snyder in his photo gallery in the nearby Vermont Center of Photography.
Here's from the man himself.
Hi, I'm Luke Stroh-Snyder. I'm a professor of photography in the Fine and Performing Arts Department here at Landmark. I've been here about 3 years. So the exhibit is actually photographs that I made a very long time ago. It's interesting to be a photographer in the digital age because you make a lot of pictures, and frequently those pictures end up on hard drives or places that you don't really look at them. So I've kind of gotten into a point in my career where I've thought about going back and looking at things that I've done in the past and trying to create things from them, just things that have been sitting kind of in an archive. So these photos I made nearly 20 years ago, and they were when I was living in Rochester, New York. And what I decided to do was look through them and try to figure out how I could create some kind of assembly of them, right? To put them together in a way that I thought told the story of my time in that city at that time in my life. So it's really just kind of a look back at that. And yeah, it's an exhibition of prints, and I'm also working on publishing a small book of the same pictures. My earliest memories of photography are that my grandmother she was somebody that loved pictures. It's funny, she would make pictures, and she would also do videotaping, which was something that at the time, this would have been the early 80s, was pretty rare, not something that everybody was doing. So it was kind of neat to have a grandmother who was doing something kind of cutting edge with images. But one of the things I remember about her is that she had Polaroid cameras. And she would kind of give me a Polaroid camera to play with whenever I spent time with her. So those are my earliest memories of photography. So that would put at, if I was 5 years old when I was making pictures, that would be that I've been making pictures for over 40 years. I got serious about it in college and then later in grad school. So it's been a long journey, but yeah, I've been making pictures for a long time. I want to say thank you. I think that, the students and my colleagues here at Landmark have been super supportive of me and my art making. And so, yeah, since I came here a couple of years ago and started teaching, I feel like, I've really sort of gotten a boost in my own photography and art making. And so, yeah, I guess I would just say thank you to everybody that's watching for all the good vibes.
Each picture is 1,000 words. Thank you, Professor Luke, for showing the community 1,000,000 words.
Does the campus look picturesque for you at this time of year? Let us know.
It may be muddy season, Sharks, but remember, during these muddy seasons, we can become land sharks and we can weather through the weather.
That's right. I hope that we can hear your stories next week, Sharks. So if you're doing anything interesting, make sure to reach out to the Voices station.
Yep, that's right. I'm J-Man Aircon.
And I'm Grace Nelson.
Keep swimming, Sharks.